Have you watched the first video? Actually, the reason of the video is to show our first meet after the COVID-19. Actually, we are planning some trip to Singapore, some vacation to Singapore, but you know, God plans is better than us, right? So because of that, we are touching to make the video about economy in Singapore. So how to measure economy in other country is their policy. So all country must have their policy. So let's say about Singapore. Singapore has two policy. This is a monetary policy and the fiscal policy. So first, I want to talk about the monetary policy. Monetary policy is objective to maintain price stability and to ensure sustainable growth. So for the Singapore, actually the monetary policy is centered on the management of the exchange rate rather than money supply or interest rates. This reflects the fact that in the small and open Singapore economy, the exchange rate is the most effective tool in maintaining price stability. Since 1981, MAS have managed the Singapore dollar exchange rates against an undisclosed trade weight basket of currency of Singapore's major trading partners and competitors. So let's continue to fiscal policy. Actually, the MAS guides the exchange rates to appreciate or depreciate mainly on whether expected inflationary pressure are strong or weak. Actually, most policy have been accompanied by recent effort to increase disclosure and exchange transparency through the release of the monetary policy statement and the analysis of economic development in its macroeconomic review. Next, let's continue fiscal policy. Singapore practice a prudent fiscal policy which complements the monetary policy in promoting sustained economic growth without inflation. Fiscal rules require a balanced budget over the term of the government. The key reason for Singapore's successful fiscal policy are prudent expenditure programs and fair tax policy. Okay, I will talk more about the prudent expenditure and fair tax policy. First, the prudent expenditure. The main focus of government expenditure is on delivering essential public goods and services to Singaporeans. Key areas of expenditure are on education, public housing, healthcare and national security. Other than that, building and maintaining world-class economic infrastructure and services. Also, development expenditure has accounted for around one-third of government expenditure on average over the last 3 decades. I will continue about fair tax policies. Taxes provide the main source of the funding for the government. At the same time, Singapore's tax policy aims to make its economy more competitive and attract foreign investment to Singapore. That's one of the reasons why economy in Singapore is one of the successful country in the world. So, if you want to learn more about the Singapore, let's go to next video.
So hi, I would like to thanks to Muhammad Aiman Firdaus bin Ahmad Azafa for giving me a chance to explain my point. So today, I am Luqman Hakimi bin Nur Hazlisha. So I will talk about my point is unemployment rate. So today, I will explain more about unemployment. So first of all, unemployment is occur when a person who is actively searching for employment but they unable to find that work. So that is the unemployment definition. So actually, unemployment is often used a measure of the health of the economy. Okay, so the most frequent measure of unemployment is the unemployment rate lah. Okay, so which is the number of unemployment people divided by the number of people in labor force, then we will get unemployment rate. Actually in Malaysia, in first quarter there are 400,000 people that jobless. Okay, so that is in Malaysia. But today, I don't want to talk about Malaysia, but we will talk about Singapore. So, in Singapore, Singapore seasonally adjusts inched higher to 2.4% in the first quarter of 2020 from 2.3% in the previous period, and in line with the preliminary estimate. So especially, before this, the unemployment rate in Singapore is 2.3%, but nowadays the percent is increasing from 2.3% into 2.4% during this first quarter 2020. In my opinion, this is occur when during COVID-19. So based on my experiment in Singapore, they have 80,000 people that unemployed, but these numbers actually will increase to 100,000, and this will make 100,000 people are jobless and they will be job seekers. This is unemployment rate actually in Singapore. So total employment fell by 25,600 in the March quarter, the sharpest quarterly contraction on record due to a significant fall in foreign employment. The numbers of retrenchment rose to 3,220 in the first quarter from 2,670 in the December quarter 2019. So largely due to the sectoral downturn of poor business. This is all about the economy. This is all about the economy, that when the economy are down and jobless people will increase. That is the most thing that happened in Singapore. And now, as we know, COVID-19 are very huge effect to the world. And yes, of course, COVID-19 will affect too to the Singapore. And because of that, for me, the percent of the jobless, of the unemployment people in the Singapore are increasing from 2.3 to 2.4%. That's all from me. So I will pass this session to Amirul Fahmi. Okay, so Amirul, your turn. Okay, see you. Bye-bye.
My name is Amirul Fahmi bin Fauzi. Today I would like to share with you my subtopic, which is inflation, and our group have chosen Singapore as our example. Before we proceed, let me share what is Singapore is famous for. First, begin super clear. Second, the band of chewing gum. Third, the Marina Bay skyline. Last, the land of shopping mall. To our subject, Echo 120, I would like to begin with the definition of inflation. Inflation is defined as the rate at which the general level of price of goods and services is rising, and therefore the purchase power of currency is falling. Currently, Singapore economy is expected to shrink by between 4.0% to 7.0% this year. The third official downgrade in economic forecasting this year, according to the Singapore Ministry of Trade and Industry. The growth of the labour cost is the key determinant of inflation in the medium term. Additional pressure on price comes from higher import price, commodity prices. For example, oil, copper, and aluminium, and also impact of indirect taxes such as excise duty. The Monetary Authority of Singapore (MAS) control inflation by managing the exchange rate. The stronger Singapore dollar lower the cost of imported goods, and vice versa in April. Shifting for a neutral state to state aid, the Monetary Authority of Singapore (MAS) controlling inflation by managing exchange rate. A stronger Singapore dollar lowered the cost in important goods and vice versa. In April, we shifted from a neutral stand to seek a slightly faster application of the local dollar. Today, the Singapore economy is one of the most stable in the world. We're not following debt, high government revenue, and a constantly positive supply. The Singapore economy is mainly driven by export in electronic, manufacturing, and machinery, financial service, tourism, and the world's busiest cargo seaport. With that, I end my presentation. Thank you. This presentation will be continued with Danial Ashraf.
Thank you, Aiman and Fahmi, for giving me a chance to share about the COVID-19 that happened in Singapore right now. First of all, Assalamualaikum and good morning to all of you. As you all are aware, 2020 has been quite chaotic due to the cause of coronavirus disease, for short COVID-19. Oh wait, it is an infectious disease caused by the newly discovered coronavirus. The COVID-19 has been around for a few months now. The outbreak of the coronavirus disease has created a global health crisis that has a deep impact on the way we perceive the world and our everyday life. The first case of the disease was reported by the official in Wuhan City, China in December 2019. However, what I'll be talking about in this video is the outbreak that happened in Singapore. The first case was reported on 23rd January 2020. Since the first case was reported, the disease started to increase rapidly with the amount of 1,037 people confirmed cases on 23rd April. This brings the total number of cases in Singapore to 11,178. The disease are still spreading until now. Therefore, on 5 June, 261 new cases were reported, and it is the lowest case in the nearly 2 months. According to that month, the total number of cases were 37,183. Although with that amount of cases, 41,002 people who are lucky that they get to recover from COVID-19. Unfortunately, 26 people didn't survive from the disease. So the total of amount cases until today is 45,140. Singapore response toward COVID-19 has been inspired by many people from all around the world as a model. The first that helped Singapore to respond it was because they were ready even before the outbreak due to the SARS outbreak of 2002 until 2003. There are key things that we can learn from how Singapore managed with the coronavirus crisis. First, keep people who are test positive in the hospital. They are kept in the hospital and they are forbidden to meet their friends and family. For those who have no symptoms but have had contact with the patient are kept in strict home quarantine. They will receive an SMS several times a day and require a check-in that confirm location. Next, not going into lockdown based on fear. The fact that the tests are widely available and the quarantine rules are clear. The firm allow people without the virus to continue to live like a normal life. In conclusion, coronavirus is still spreading even though the cases have been decreasing in 2 months. We can still prevent ourselves from COVID-19. You are only need to follow 3 simple steps. First, maintain good personal hygiene and cleanliness. Second, cover your mouth and nose when you cough and sneeze. Throw the tissue in the trash and wash your hands with soap and use the hand sanitizer. Lastly, use the face mask whenever being in public and close contact with people. Thank you.